Hello, my name is Mia Sapulo. I'm a prospective graduate of SUNY at Jefferson Community College's Zoo Technology Associates program. I was a member of the Ancillas class who were in session from 2013 to 2015, and I'm here today to talk to you about my internship with Westy's Birds of Prey.
Richard, or Rick West, is a master falconer who is retired from the military and now offers educational programs to the public, with most of the birds in his care. His house is located on a very rural road in Adams, New York, of which, to maintain online privacy, the address and phone number to can be obtained by asking our program director, Mark Irwin, for my evaluation sheet. From the college's campus and using Highway 81, it's only about a 20-minute drive away.
So, what is falconry and why was I interested in learning about it? It's a practice that dates all the way back to 1700 BC and is thought to have originated in Mesopotamia.
The practice involved using birds of prey to hunt for people's food. It became widely popular in medieval England and allowed for class distinction between aristocrats. Based on the type of bird owned, you could tell if someone was a king, a duke, a lord, and so on. It died out some when gunpowder was introduced, but has since had a resurgence. Today, it serves as a field sport, but allows the modern individual to personally connect with the natural environment.
Up until this summer, the only real bird experience I had gotten through the program was with Slater, the small screech owl at the Thompson Park Zoo. So I really wanted to use this opportunity in order to expose myself to the practice firsthand and also to work on some of the hesitations I have with larger predatory birds. While I am currently still working with Rick West, the hours that I have already completed have presented me with numerous experiences.
An important one just being the overall beauty of northern and upstate New York. Rick's programs can take place just about anywhere and everywhere, and they brought me to places I might not have otherwise seen, like Bolt Castle on Hart Island just off of Alexandria Bay. We spent an entire day there, and while presenting, I was even able to take a look into an osprey's nest, which made me appreciate the local ecosystem we have even more. Of course, I've had animal-specific experiences too, like the general husbandry and maintenance of the birds in Rick's care, which, much like every level of the zoo field, can be dirty and time-consuming. I also was able to practice the handling of the birds in a public presentation, but also during more private training sessions where Rick talked to me about how radio telemetry can be used when free-flying birds in order to track their locations using a GPS sort of signal should they become distracted. I also got to help care for Eurasian eagle owl hatchlings and learned just how dangerous minor temperature and weight changes can be to the young. Through all of this, there was a lot of terminology I learned along the way, including what jesses, leashes, perches, baiting, cadges, and warbling was. I also had to learn how to tie the falconer's knot, which I will be demonstrating to you watching this video. The falconer's knot is a type of hitch knot designed to tie a bird to its perch while being able to be undone in nearly an instant. It's usually tied with just one hand, since the other hand is occupied with the bird. It is a very versatile and temporary knot that could come in handy whenever any of us may be trying to tie something to a rod-like object, such as a railing or a handle.
The figure you just saw on how to tie the falconer's knot came from this book, Training Birds of Prey. Rick West gave it to me in the beginning of my internship, and it has been really helpful in learning just anything and everything in the field of falconry. It has a lot of helpful guides, photos, and examples of different species of birds and which are good for beginners and which aren't. To practice tying a falconer's knot, all you really need is a piece of string or a fabric rope like you would use to leash the birds. For demonstration purposes, I found something similar to the metal piping that's usually used on the bird's perches, and I also have a metal ring which falconers usually slide right onto the metal pipe as a smaller surface area to tie onto. So to start the knot, you basically just have to pretend you're holding an owl in your less dominant hand, and you would slide the rope through the metal ring. Now with your right hand, you're going to grab the rope in your first two fingers and make sort of a gun shape. And then you're going to put it past and to the left of the left hand string. So then you've got this triangle shape here. And from there you're going to use your thumb, and you're just going to go over the first string and under the second string and pull your thumb back towards the beginning right hand side. And then you're going to use the fingers that you kept in that gun position holding the thread and wrap it around. And you're going to push that thread through the loop you made with your thumb. And you're going to pull it tight, making sure that you're keeping a new loop in there. And then from there, you can grab the end of the thread and just push that through the loop that you made using your gun pointed fingers. And you can either tie this, or you can either pull this to make it tighter, or you can leave it with this bigger loop so it's easier to untie. But either way, it is an instantaneous release knot, so you basically just pull the thread and it comes right undone. And I'm going to show you this from an aerial view just to solidify and make sure everyone can see every detail. So, once again, here's the aerial view on how to tie the falconer's knot. You put the pretend owl in your left hand, and you put that to the side. You're not allowed to use that hand. And then you thread the rope through the metal ring. And then from there, you grab with your two forefingers and make that gun shape with the thread. And then you go from the right hand side to the left hand side. And from there, you've made that triangle shape, which you can then take your thumb and go over one thread, under the next, and pull it up and towards the right side. You're making another triangle shape here. And then you'll go around to the right side with those four fingers that are holding the gun. Just to show you again, you go like this, and you bring it back around. And then from there, you just tuck that new loop you just made into the first loop you made, and you just pull it until it's somewhat tight. And then you can grab this rope and push it right through that loop, and that adds just one more measure of security, because sometimes the birds will learn how to untie them. And when you get really good at this, you can actually do it without looking. This kind of helps you make sure that no birds are fighting or nobody's in danger. Keeps you aware of your surroundings if you can tie this knot without looking at the knot itself. And then, like I said, to undo it, you just grab it right here at the top. You do have to pull that thread out of the second loop you made, but then after that, instantaneously release by just pulling on the rope itself. And there you have it. So, now that you've learned something while watching my video, I'd like to go back and talk a little bit more logistics.
This internship is a great opportunity for someone like me who may not be able to afford the money or time devoted to a larger out-of-state program. There was little to no cost involved, since you basically just pay for transportation and food if needed at the many venues. A reliable vehicle is definitely necessary, since it is a ways from Watertown, and even more so from Clayton, where I live. You need to provide the transportation for yourself. There also was not an application fee, which lowered the financial stress associated with many zoo internships.
I think my time spent with Rick West was a good investment in my own future. I'm still unsure what my ultimate career interest is, so this will be good to show that I'm a well-rounded individual.
It was also a really friendly atmosphere in general, and as a host, Rick was more than willing to accommodate my personal schedule, and he allowed me to choose when I would be meeting with him. This was a great help because I was taking 13 credits over this summer semester. On top of this, he not only has native to New York birds, but also exotic species, which was great for me to be able to see the diversity of the taxonomic groups, and to also experience the differing personalities of not only owls versus hawks versus falcons, but also the personalities seen between different species and hybrids of species as well. Speaking of species, Rick has so many in his care. However, the ones I worked the most with during presentations included a peregrine falcon, a Gerlaner falcon hybrid, an American kestrel, a Eurasian eagle owl, a barn owl, a spectacle owl, a Harris hawk, and even a kookaburra.
However, there were some negative aspects to this internship choice.
Since it is not an AZA accredited facility, I will most likely be unable to count this as recognizable experience should I ever apply to an accredited zoo or aquarium. However, I still feel that the practical experience I gained far outweighs this risk. As with any educational program, as the children come and go, your talks can become quite repetitious, but this can be overcome by simply switching up the general theme of what you are focusing on in your speech. There was also a lot of walking and a lot of carrying of the large, awkward travel boxes involved, which I feel is worth noting, but should also be expected in the zoo field.
I personally think that this was a great opportunity to help me fulfill one of the 2 internship courses.
I do feel like it is best suitable for the 90-hour time frame, since it is such a specialized area of husbandry. It also allowed me to further practice my handling skill set and really helped me get over the subconscious fear of larger birds that I had previously. I would advise anyone else thinking of working with Rick West to really think and set specific goals in the beginning in order to help you stay on track. Since he is retired, it can become very easy to fall into a laid-back routine, but those goals that you set would help remind you to stay focused. I'd also recommend that you practice the falconer's knot and master it as fast as possible, since Rick puts a lot of trust on your shoulders and he will hand you a bird to put back on the cage the first program you attend.
Since my internship this summer was a very one-on-one type of experience, I didn't get many opportunities to document it in photos as I would have liked to, but I still hope that I provided you guys with an accurate representation of what my summer consisted of. Thank you for watching, and if you have any comments, feel free to leave them below.